Am I the a-hole for refusing to trade my Taylor Swift Eras tour tickets with my friend who's a bigger fan? Let me know in the comments and make sure to stick around until the end to get the full story. Okay, so I, 25F, managed to snag 2 tickets to Taylor Swift's Eras tour during the pre-sale madness. I went through the whole Ticketmaster war zone and came out with decent seats, nothing VIP but still really good, for her final show in Vancouver. My best friend, Sarah, 26F, wasn't so lucky and ended up with nosebleeds. She was devastated, obviously, but we laughed about how at least she'd still be in the same building as Taylor. Fast forward to last week, Sarah asked if we could trade tickets. Her reasoning? She's been a diehard Swiftie since the Fearless days, and I only got into Taylor during Reputation. She thinks she deserves better seats because she's a bigger fan, knows all the lyrics, and has been to more concerts than I have. I told her no. I waited in the same virtual line as everyone else, and these are my tickets. Plus, I bought them with my hard-earned money and didn't scalp them or anything. She called me selfish and said a real fan would understand why she needs those seats more than I do. Now she's barely speaking to me and has even gotten a few of our mutual friends involved, saying I'm hoarding good seats just to spite her. For the record, I'm going with my cousin, who's just as excited as I am, and we're not giving these seats up. Am I the asshole for not trading, or is she being entitled about this whole thing? Am I the a-hole for defending my daughter's comments towards my other daughter being single? Let me know in the comments, and make sure to stick around until the end to get the full story. My daughter, 17F Emily, has been dating this boy, 17M Zach, for around 2 months now, and he recently came to visit us. This is the first time he has come over for dinner, and this is Emily's first BF. Zach is a very lovely boy. When he came in and saw me, he said, "Emily, I didn't know you have 2 sisters." I laughed, as even though it's cliche, I know he's trying to be nice. The entire time at dinner, he was very polite, but he is also a very outgoing kid. He would say stuff such as, "What a lovely dinner, this food is great, your backyard is beautiful," etc., etc. So while you could say he was trying to be overly polite, he was still a very sweet and kind kid. Emily is a more shy and reserved person, so I felt they were really great for each other. My husband also hit it off with him, and they were engaging in sports banter, and eventually came to trash-talking some football team. My older daughter, Amy, 19, kept grilling the poor guy. She was asking if he would pay for dates, to which he said yeah, and then she asks how he has money, and he said his job. Then she started talking about making time for Emily between school friends and a job. Then it came on to how they would get to dates, and she started asking him about his license. She then started to ask about protecting her, making comments on his stature. He's on the shorter side and kind of chubby, nothing crazy, however. And he seemed to be getting uncomfortable, so I brought out dessert, which he again complimented, and my husband brought up sports to change topics. After he left, I asked her why she would do that. She said that he seemed too nice and cliche, as if he was faking it. I said, "So people can't be nice these days? You made it weird for him and Emily. Emily didn't deserve that, neither did he." She said that she just didn't like that vibe, as no one is that nice or positive, and it was definitely forced. Emily butted in and said that she really didn't appreciate that, and said that Amy's reasoning didn't make sense. Emily said that Amy was messed up, and I agreed. Amy then said that he was some dumb weak kid faking being nice, and this upset Emily and me. Emily then said in a fuss, "You only say that because you're single and no one will date you." She has been slightly sensitive about this, as she hasn't been in a committed relationship yet. This upset Amy, and Amy asked why I didn't say anything or stop her from going to her room. I said that she just insulted her BF and that she deserved it. Now Amy isn't talking to me, and I feel that maybe a personal insult like that was too far. What do you think? Am I the asshole?
Am I the a-hole for telling my wife she was being overprotective of our son and that she might be jealous of his girlfriend? Let me know in the comments and make sure to stick around until the end to get the full story. My son, 16M, is a wrestler. He has been wrestling for years and we go to all his tournaments and such. He had one earlier today and his GF came. They started dating around March of last year, so this is her first tournament while they're together. Normally, after matches, he goes to his teammates, then his coaches, then us. However, after his first win today, he went to his teammates, then his coach gave him some advice. He then went to his GF and hugged her, and then he showed her his back since the guy was scratching him. He then barely talked to us, then went with his GF. Later, he accidentally injured a kid's knee and was really messed up about it. I guess my wife expected him to go to her, but he didn't. He went to his GF and she was comforting him. After this, my wife started complaining about it. I said he's getting older and it's natural. She said that it wasn't and that she didn't like it, and was asking why his GF was doing all that. I said that it wasn't really a big deal and that it was really nice that she woke up that early and was willing to stay that long. These things start at 6 a.m. and then go all day. She said that she needs to lay off. I said she's just being a good partner and that I was happy our son found someone like that. She said that his GF was doing the stuff that she, my wife, was supposed to do. I said no, she isn't, just let them be happy. My wife said I can't when she's taking my boy from me. I said, are you jealous of her or something? Lay off, just enjoy the day, our son is 2-0 right now, just be happy. She said that I didn't understand and went to some other place in the gym. She has been dodging me all day and I'm starting to feel like what I said was way too far. Am I the asshole?
Am I the a-hole for skipping the bathroom line to wash my hands? Let me know in the comments and make sure to stick around until the end to get the full story. I, 30F, was recently at the airport for a flight. I went to the ladies' room to wash my hands about 15 minutes before boarding my flight. There was a line of about half a dozen women, and I made eye contact with the one at the front of the line and told her I was just going to wash my hands. She had no issue with it. There were 2 sections of sinks, and I went to the one closest to the entrance. The next 5 sinks to the left of me were all unused in the time I was washing my hands. As I walked out barely a minute later, a woman towards the end of the line cupped her hands around her mouth as if to broadcast to everyone, and said in a very condescending tone, "There's a Linny!" and laughed at herself. I was so taken aback that anyone had any issues with this that I only managed to mutter, "I was just washing my hands, so..." As I walked out, I really didn't see an issue with what I did cause I did not cause anyone to wait in line any longer than they would have, nor did I take up a sink that people ahead of me needed. But now I'm not so sure. What is the general public consensus of skipping the bathroom line to use an available sink? Was I the asshole for doing so?
Am I the a-hole for not showing up to my sister's wedding? Let me know in the comments, and make sure to stick around until the end to get the full story. I, 20 May, don't get along with my family. I was kicked out at 18 and forced to live in my car to survive, and I've had to learn how to do everything on my own. Throughout the time I was homeless, I never received a single text, call, or anything from my sister or any of my siblings. The only people that were concerned were one of my friend's mom, who graciously started a GoFundMe and bought groceries and surprised me with it all when I was at my lowest. Then later on, even graciously paid for a transmission rebuild for my car. I owe it all to that woman. But anyway, fast forward, I'm doing better. I have a place to live with a roommate, I have a nicer, newer car I got through a loan myself, and I have a full-time job and a girlfriend. I'm doing okay. Around this time, my sister, 26F, gets engaged, and out of the blue invites me to her wedding. I'm kind of shocked, because the few times I visited my parents, despite what they did, the family tore me down and insulted my girlfriend and told me my relationship would never last. All the while, my sister is engaged and the family is praising her, and her husband has essentially become my replacement. I told my parents I would think about it anyway, and I had learned my sister would be inviting a ton of people who were just acquaintances or friends, and had told my siblings they could bring some people they knew. So GF and I just decided to plan on going and get it over with. My sister learns I plan on bringing my GF and tells me no, she doesn't want her there. At this point, I was frustrated and just decided it wasn't even worth it at this point. Why would I show up for them when they haven't talked to me in a year? So I don't go and I stay home and sleep and wake up to a bunch of angry texts and guilt tripping and everyone asking where I was. I ignored them and went about my day. Am I the asshole here?